Hello and welcome to watch this video about the basics of programming in JavaScript, Node.js. In this video we are going to study functions, the very basics of functions. And you will see how a function can be defined or written, and then you will see that how a function can be called. Functions can take parameters, we will study this as well. And then we will take a look at what are local variables and what are global variables. So my name is Kari Laitinen and let's start. I have already here, I have a program, a very simple program that has only 2 lines. So let's execute the program first. So when I execute, it just prints 2 lines, beginning of program and end of program. So this is not a very clever program so far, but we can do things with this. And well, we could say that this is now the main program. So this is the main program, and then now I'm going to write a function here that's something else than the main program. So when you write the function, you can do it like this. So first you write the keyword function, and then you give a name for the function. And in this case, I give it a name, say hello. And always when you write a function, you have to put at least a pair of empty parentheses at the end of function name. Later on I will explain that what else can be put there. And then you put the pair of braces like this, and inside these braces you can write then the internal statements of the function, and I put here only one statement, and the statement is like this. So now the name of the function is say hello, and well, the function just prints the text hello to the screen. So let's put it here. So this is now a complete function, and now when I want to call it from the main program, I do it so that I write here just the name of the function and the pair of empty parentheses and semicolon here. And you should notice that there is no semicolon here at the end of the function name and the parentheses, but here you must have a semicolon. So I will save it and let's see what happens. I run the program and you see that it prints the text hello between the lines beginning of program and end of program. I will make this a little bit, I will add some spaces here, it looks a little bit better then. So it prints, so first this, so now this statement is not executed, but when the program starts running, this is not executed, but then the first statement to be executed is the first statement of the main program. And this is the statement, and then it executes this statement, and it means that the internal statements of this function are executed, and now right now there is only one statement there, and then it executes this statement that is the last statement of the main program. So inside these braces you can have one or more statements, and then they are always executed all when the function is called. So I can write here another statement. Well, I will add a dot there as well. So now the function say hello has two statements, two internal statements, and if I execute it, it now prints the two statements before it returns to the main program. We always say that after the last statement of a function is executed, then the program control returns to the statement that follows the function call in the calling program. So we can also say that this is now the calling program, and this is now the function that is that is called. And of course, it is possible to have many when you have a function, you can call it as many times as you want. So for instance, if I copy these statements, I will copy them and I will paste them, and I will modify this a little bit. So when I save it and we rerun it, you will see now that this is printed by the first statement of the main program, and then all the statements of the function are executed, and then the one statement in the middle of the program is executed, and then again the statements of the function are executed, and then in the end the last statement of the main program is executed. So when you have a function, you can execute it as many times as you want. Then a function can have parameters. And the parameters are something that you write inside this pair of parentheses. And for instance, we could modify this function so that it could print this text hello several times, and as a parameter the caller could specify that how many times this text hello should be repeated. So I will write the parameter here. I give a name, repeats requested, and then let's make a for loop here. I will use a variable named repeats done, that is 0 at the beginning. and we will repeat as long as the value of variable repeats done is less than the repeats requested, and then we increment the repeats done variable. And as usual, I will put something here. No, I will just copy this one statement or cut it from here, and I will put it here. So now this statement will be executed as many times as this variable specifies. Now, when we call this function, we have to specify some value here. So let's put here 3, and I will here put just 1. Let's test this. Now you will see that when in the first call when in this resulted in that the hello text or the word hello was printed 3 times, and this second call to the function resulted in that this hello was printed just once. So this is now a parameter for the function. So we could say that it is so this is because this traditionally in the terminology of computer programming, these kinds of parameters, they are called formal parameters, so that they are not they are given the value when the function is called. And then here we call the function with so here we call the function with actual parameter 3, and then this value is now transferred to this variable or parameter, and then that value is used inside the function. So traditionally in computer programming, these parameters, when it is specified in the definition of a function, it's called formal parameter, and then here it can be called actual parameter, or it can be called as argument. It's also very common to use this term, argument. And well, this formal parameter, it is just like a normal variable then. So these are the parameters, and now it is very important to understand that then these statements, they are then internal statements inside this function whose name is say hello. And for instance, this parameter and also this or this variable and also this parameter, they can be only used inside by the statements that are inside the function, or the statements that are internal statements of the function. So it should not be possible to refer to these, or let's try it. If I try to refer to this repeats done. Let's see what happens. It didn't complain anything about it. But, well, usually it shouldn't be possible to refer to this variable like this. Well, I must say that I can't explain why it didn't complain, why the compiler didn't complain anything about this. But let's then speak a little bit about global variables versus local variables, because we can say that these variables now, they are now local variables inside this function. But then if you define a variable like this, then this variable could, because it is specified outside this function, it could be used inside this function and also inside other functions that would be written to this program. So let's make something useful. Let's count how many times this function is called. And then we will print like this. So it should always then tell that how many times this function has been called. So it first increments the value of this variable and then prints the value to the screen. But let's test it. So here it is called 1 times and here it is called 2 times. So that you could see that this variable it kept its value between the calls to this function, but this variable wouldn't do this. So this is now a global variable. And in general, it is a very old invention in programming that you shouldn't use many global variables, or you should avoid global variables. But in JavaScript script programming, it is very important to understand also this, that sometimes the global variables are needed. And then they are just these that are written outside functions. I want to test one more time this say hello, that does it work if we give a parameter 0 there. Let's test it. I will just modify, let's copy it. Oh, sorry, I did something wrong. copy it and I will paste it, and let's put 0 there. It's always important that you test your programs with the values like 0. So when the value was 0, it didn't print the text hello at all, but it still said that it has been now called 3 times, because there is the first call, and there is a second call, and there is the third call. But this third call doesn't say hello, because the value of this parameter is 0. Yes. Okay, I think this is enough of an introduction to functions, so you know some basics after watching this video. If you want to study more, you can go to my site naturalprogramming.com, and there is the JavaScript page, and there you will find programs like messages.js, letters.js, and sums.js, and decorations.js. And in this video we didn't speak anything about methods that return data to their callers, so that or functions that return data. These functions, they contain a return statement. So for instance, there is this largest returned. That would be a useful example to study this. Or there's also the mean value function.js. So you might study those, and of course, because JavaScript is very complicated language, or you can do many things with the JavaScript. There are also many kinds of functions, or you can write many kinds of functions with the JavaScript, and you can even write the function inside a function, and you can even pass a function as a parameter to another function. So this was just an introduction to functions, and you will need to study other sources to find more information about functions. But thank you for watching this video, and we will most likely meet in some other video. So thank you and bye.